Yo, what's up, guys? It's KB. Thanks for tuning in to another video here on the Outside the Box Podcast YouTube channel. If you like the content you're seeing from us here, be sure to smash that like button, click the bell icon so you don't miss out on any future videos, leave a comment down below, and don't forget, hit that subscribe button. And now let's get into another original video here on the Outside the Box Podcast YouTube channel.
Welcome back to another episode of Outside the Box College Lacrosse Podcast. I'm your host, Uncle Deej. That's nephew Hoots on the official College Lacrosse podcast on Underground Industries. Make sure to follow the pod Underground Industries on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. But on Twitter, it is at the U Industries. Don't forget to follow the main pod at otbLacrosse. You can also find them and subscribe to them on YouTube at youtube.com/otbLacrosse. Make sure to subscribe over there. It's where you get full video episodes of this pod, but also you get exclusives like Sporkle interviews and other lacrosse content from the main pod over there as well. Make sure to follow OTB Lacrosse Pod on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere else at that moniker. Follow the guy behind the screens, KBizzle311 on Twitter. Or no, that's Instagram. And then it's, KBizzle311 on Twitter, and then it's KBizzleE11 on Instagram, Threads, and other places as well. He's always making sure that things are popping around here. You can follow me at Uncle Deej12 on Instagram, SCS_Next Great on Twitter. Find all my other socials there as well. And this episode of Outside the Box College Lacrosse Podcast is powered by our friends at 47, truly the best headwear and apparel in the game with their vast collection of collegiate gear. They'll make sure you're repping your favorite college lacrosse team all season long. So use our link in the description to shop with 47 and get free shipping on all orders when you join the 47 family. Just make an account, as yes, it's free, and start earning points on every purchase you make and turn those points into free gear. Again, use our link in the description to shop with 47 and get free shipping on all orders when you join the 47 family. Shout out to 47 for being the proud partner of OTB and the official headwear partner of Underground Industries. Long weekend, nephew. What's pop?
Nothing much. Just Denver finally got a win in lacrosse. They won their hockey won the Natty on Thursday. That was cool. Avalanche were like first 50 wins and clinched something else because they're goated. Nuggets somehow got the 3 seed. It's pretty much it. Just good sports weekend so far. So I'm hoping that continues.
Yeah, had 2 games last week. They went not as expected. That happens when you got 11 new guys, playing their first competitive lacrosse. So bumpy road, but, we're making strides. So I'm happy with that. Still riding the wave of the Michigan Basketball National Championship. So honestly, I still feel great. Michigan lacrosse starting to make me very proud, which we're going to get into. And then I spent my entire weekend with 13 to 17-year-olds, and man, was it a time. It was a time. But yeah, it was a good weekend. I had a great time.
You may want to specify why you were with them.
Yeah, I was at a conference. They're a group of kids I mentor for my fraternity. So,
yeah, don't just say you were with a bunch of 13 to 17-year-old boys.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I didn't say boys. I just said kids. But yeah.
Yeah.
It's still. You're right. Thank you for helping me with that.
Hey.
But yeah.
Was it at least a fun weekend?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a great weekend. Had a great time. We all did. So I was good with the weekend. Didn't watch much lacrosse, so did a lot of scoreboard watching. Did see a few games on replay, so I'm somewhat caught up. But like I said, crazy weekend. Shall we start with the luck of the Fighting Irish?
Sure.
Who have done it again and have beat the number one team in the country as they take down North Carolina 10-5. They improved to 7-1. North Carolina drops to 10-1. I think 10-2 maybe.
10-2, yeah.
Yeah, and North Carolina's 8-1.
No,
NCAA
backwards. Notre Dame's 8-1.
Yes,
Carolina's
sorry.
10-2.
Yes, thank you. NCAA needs to update their records on the.
Good luck with that one. It's going to take them another week.
Oh, I know. North Carolina got a goal from Brevin Wilson, goal and assist from Owen Duffy, goal from Dominic Petramala, 10 shots, only 3 of them getting on net. Parker Hoffman had a goal, and then an assist each from Anthony Ryow and Brady Wambach. And then Luke Macaluso had Macaluso. I like that name. He had a goal as well in this game. 12 saves, 10 goals given up for the keeper. Meanwhile, on the other side, Luke Miller, 3 goals. Brock Berman, a goal and an assist. 3 assists for Josh Yago. Matt Jeffrey had a goal. Will Angrick had a goal and an assist. Will Maharis had an assist. Chris Reinhardt with an assist as well. Jalen Seymour gets a goal. And Teddy Lawley had 3 Genos on the day. 16 saves, 5 goals given up for Rich Cardelli in net for Notre Dame. They go out. They take down the top team 2 weeks in a row. Should they reclaim that top spot? What are your thoughts and opinions after how this one turned out on the weekend?
I mean, yeah, probably. You beat the number 1 team again. What were they coming into this, 4th, I want to say?
3rd, I think.
3rd or 4th, yeah. So, I mean, they'll probably regain
2.
that.
Sorry,
that
2.
First seed.
This was a 1-2 matchup.
There were 2?
Yeah.
I must have been looking at an outdated list last week.
Princeton was 3.
Okay. Then, yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't really see why they'd stay 2 then. But, hey, I guess it's time to believe in them because, like you said, they keep doing it. And, I mean, they look good doing it. To hold a team who's number 1 in the country to 5 goals is, nothing short of crazy. And to hold them scoreless in the 4th, too, when they could have had a chance at coming back is huge. And, again, I don't know. I've been overlooking Notre Dame, but I don't think I really can anymore.
Yeah, and not a lot of people are talking about their defense, who had another phenomenal day. I mean, holding Petramala to 10 shots, I mean, that's a lot, but when only 3 of them go on cage, it's not really that many. And he only scored, I think, on 1 of them. So,
yeah,
that's great defense. And then you hold Owen Duffy to 1-1.
Mm-hmm.
To me, they went, hey, let's take these 2 guys out of the game. And you know what? If somebody else shows up and beats us, then we got to take that L. I like those chances. And Notre Dame was able to go out and execute the game plan and come out with success. It's just not enough talk about Notre Dame's defense and how they're kind of carrying this team. The offense isn't spectacular, but they kind of give me like Georgia Swarmish vibes right now, where their defense and goaltending is playing so well that they don't have to score a lot of goals. They just have to score 1 more than the team across from them, which isn't that hard because the other team ain't scoring that many. It's insane.
Yeah, actually, I think last week I was talking to Neil Barrett, and one of his concerns with this team was what happens if you take Petramala and Duffy out of the game, even just one of them. And so it's wild to see that actually play out here. I mean, like you said, 1 for 10 shooting, only 3 being on cage is wild.
Yeah, completely rattled. And it's also like, when are we going to start to have the conversation as a country of Notre Dame repeating? Because I
probably
think
sooner rather than later.
Maybe now.
Yeah.
Maybe now. They haven't lost in the ACC. They just beat Carolina, who I felt like was possibly the best team in the ACC. I mean, they still have to play Hughes, which is going to be a big game.
But Hughes has shown they can be beaten.
Right. And Notre Dame has shown they can be beaten.
So
to me, at this point, that's for the top of the ACC. Yeah. Duke still feels a step behind to me. And then Hughes just beat Virginia, so that gives them the tiebreaker there. And Notre Dame already beat Virginia. Or no, sorry. I don't think Notre Dame and Virginia have played. And if they did, Virginia beat Notre Dame.
I feel like that may have occurred.
I kind of vaguely remember talking about that.
Yeah, they did. They beat them 11-9.
Yeah. So
That's their one
I mean,
loss.
that's kind of the three-way tie up top. Is those three, and then or I guess those four. Oh, the ACC's a mess.
Mm-hmm. It's hard because in my head, like, Hughes should be the better team. But like we've been saying, Notre Dame just keeps winning, and convincingly as well. And they seem to have a plethora of guys that can score. And they don't all have to put up a ton of points either, which is, like, I think part of their advantage right now, honestly. And like this game, there's other teams as well that if you take their top guy or top two guys out of the game, it's basically over for them. So from that standpoint, it's like, yeah, they probably will end up making it back to at least the championship, if not repeating, because they have everything they need, basically.
Yeah, and they don't mind playing any kind of style of game. I've seen them get up and down with teams. I've seen them slow it down and play slow with teams. Seen them play like a mix. It's like they're just going to adapt to the game and play and figure out how to win. It's a dangerous team to play against.
Yeah.
But I guess we should bring up the team that could possibly keep Notre Dame from being the 1 seed. Princeton has gotten a lot of buzz all season long. They improved to 9-2. Penn falls to 5-6 as Princeton dominates in this game 20-8. Penn gets 2 goals and assists from Alex Martin, a goal and assist from David Provost, a goal from Ben Beecham, a goal from Jackson Mayer, an assist from Grayson McClements. Grayson McClements. A goal from Matthew Till, a goal from Matt McClellan and Anthony McMullen as well. 17 saves, 18 goals given up from Jack Pilot. Meanwhile, on the other side for Princeton, Tucker Wade with a goal, 5-2, 5 Genos, 2 assists, 11 shots, 8 on net for Chad Palumbo. Parker Reynolds, 3 goals. Jack Dunphy, 3 goals and an assist. Nate Kabir, 3 goals, 2 assists. 1 goal, 4 assists for Colin Burns. A goal for Will Fuller, 2 assists for Cooper Muller, a goal for Carson Kramer, 2 goals for Jake Vana, and an assist for Cooper Kistler. 11 saves, 6 goals given up for Ryan Croddick. I mean, utter domination from Princeton. They've been basically a top 3, top 5 team all season long. They haven't really had a chance to taste the 1 spot. Very few blemishes on their record. They're running through most of Ivy League play with no real issues. They were a team many people had their eye on coming into the season at the end of last season. Some of their philosophy is and prophecy is starting to fill out. Does a domination like this weekend possibly warrant a jump over Notre Dame? And as someone who picked Princeton to win the national championship, that could possibly sway your decision, but also,
yeah, but even then,
how do you feel about them possibly being the 1 seed at this time, and like how that fits with the trend of the season and where it could be going for them?
I mean, I think they are a number 1 team in general. And I think the problem with as far as like rankings go week to week is like UNC was number 1. Notre Dame doubled them up, beat them by 5. 1-2. Princeton, as good of a win as this was against a not very good Penn team. And this is now, 3 blowouts for them in a row. So they're not necessarily playing the toughest competition right now. Obviously, I get Ivy League, all that stuff, like you have to play them, but that is kind of factoring into my thinking of like, I don't think they should be ranked number 1, even though I do think that they have the talent and probably are, a 1A, 1B type of situation team there. But I mean, Notre Dame's beating top dogs. So I could definitely see if voters want to put them ahead of UNC maybe. And, you put them at 3, 4, whatever. But it's just, I'm looking at their schedule now. I mean, their last notable opponent was maybe Cornell, who's been up and down this year, and they lost that game by 2. That said, they did beat Carolina, Syracuse, and Maryland early on in the season, so not that affects this week's rankings, but I mean, they took care of business too, so I'm not mad at it if they want to be 1, but I don't think they ultimately end up there.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's just hard because I feel like you want to respect and reward them handling business.
Yeah.
Like, you are that much better than that team, and you went out and proved it. You didn't lollygag. You didn't overlook them. You didn't change up your game plan. You went out, you executed, you did what you were supposed to do. You won big, and you went home. Like, to me, that's what the best teams in the country do. So it's hard to, say, oh, yeah, Notre Dame should just be the 1 based off what they've done. Because, to me, Princeton has the resume to be the 1 as well. To me, it's so hard in any sport to hold a team's schedule and conference against them, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because there's only so much they can do about it. As far as conference, there's literally nothing they can do about it.
Exactly.
They have to play who they have to play. And then the non-conference, it's like the Miami of Ohio situation with basketball this year. You can only play who agrees to play you. So if your schedule is not as good because other teams don't want to play you because of how good your team is, I don't want to fault you for that.
Yeah. Which is why it is kind of helpful that they beat those teams early on.
Mm-hmm. And my thing is if you go out and dominate everybody on your schedule because that's who agreed to play you, I'm still going to think you're one of the best teams in the country because you went out and did what the best teams in the country do against inferior teams. Now you may not show up in the limelight against a team that has been playing other really good teams, but that's the nature of the game. You got to give, I don't want to say the Cinderella the chance, but essentially a team that has done very well deserves to fight for a chance and be up against the big dogs if they've obliterated everybody else they played. It's just common sense to me. That's kind of what we're seeing with Princeton outside of Cornell, who, like you said, has been up and down, but a different kind of up and down, in my opinion. They're doing the whole play to competition.
Yep.
When the competition ain't as good, they're not having a good day. But when Princeton comes to town, when they play Richmond, when they're playing Notre Dame, they're playing their best ball.
Yeah.
I'm kind of okay with that. Not necessarily the bad side, but the good side. I want to respect those teams' wins and losses against them because they are playing a extremely high caliber Cornell team in those games. It's just hard to back that up when they go and play another team that's not so well and they play down to that competition.
Yeah. So then are you saying you'd have Princeton over Notre Dame at 1?
I don't think so, but I understand the reasoning.
Yeah.
Based off of their schedule and their pace at the moment, they look like the number 1 team in the country. But that same exact argument can be made for Notre Dame. So whoever comes out as the 1, I'm okay with it because it's basically like splitting hairs.
Yeah.
It's the nuanced stuff now. Well, I like the way they do this, or I like the way they do that more than this team does over here. So I'm going to pick them to be 1 over this team.
Yeah, for sure.
I like the ACC more than Ivy. The ACC sucks. Ivy's the best. Just weird, stupid stuff like that's going to end up being the difference maker between this, and it's stupid. But human bias exists, and there's no reason for me to get upset about it. I guess we should stay in the Ivy League ACC realm and talk about Cornell, who improved to 7-3. Duke drops to 8-3 after a 9-7 win for the Big Red. The Blue Devils get 2 goals from Brady Scaletti, 1 goal, 1 assist from Ben Johnston, 3 goals and an assist from Max Sloat, goal from Liam Kirschus, 2 assists for Thomas Menke, and that's it. 8 saves, 9 goals given up for Patrick Jameson. Ryan Waldman, a goal for Brian Luzzy, 2 goals for Luke Robinson, 1 goal apiece for Rowan Nuri and Brendan Staub, a goal and 2 assists for Ryan Goldstein, a goal and an assist for William Firth, a goal for Jack Cascaden, and 12 saves, 7 goals given up for the Big Red. I mean, extremely low-scoring game. Maybe it was a defensive battle. Maybe the offenses were just bad. I don't know. I didn't get a chance to see this game. But in my opinion, this doesn't look good for either one of these teams. But it really doesn't look good for Duke, unless this was an extremely defensive game. Then you have a great leg to stand on both sides.
I mean, yes and no. Duke's had this happen several times now. The only difference is they've ended up on the right side of them. I mean, think about the Denver game. What was that, 8-7?
Yep.
And they won. I forget who they played the next week. I feel like they had like a similar situation. I mean, as far as talking about Duke's sake, like you hold a team to 0 goals in the fourth quarter, but you can't find the back of the net either. So it completely negates it. So like, is that an offensive problem? Because I know a couple of weeks ago there were some Duke fans complaining about the way the offense was run and ball getting stuck in guys' sticks and not moving well enough, and like that kind of seems like that may be an issue, a continuous one at that. Being 0-2 in conference play as well doesn't look good on them either. I know this wasn't a conference game, but
it's hard to jump back in the groove of conference play when you had this non-conference bid in and you didn't win it.
Yeah, and like to me, I felt like a couple weeks ago, even after like a loss, I felt like they're still a good team that were probably better than a lot of the teams ranked ahead of them, but they lost the game. Whereas now I'm kind of like, man, this is a little concerning. And I know we just talked about Cornell kind of playing up or down to opponents, so maybe this was just them saying, hey, this is a good Duke team. We got to come out and show that we're good too. I mean, you were down 1.5 and you put up 5 in the third quarter. That's a great response coming out of halftime. And at that point, you're basically coasting. So good for Cornell, but I also, at this point, have questions about Duke, which makes me automatically question the integrity of the win by Cornell too, which I understand is not fair to them because they did what they had to do, but I'd be lying if I said that wasn't, in the back of my head.
Yeah, I mean, when you have those questions, it always throws a monkey wrench in the team who wins because it not necessarily puts an asterisk next to it, but for some people it's like, okay, well, this is how I feel about that team, so this win only means this much. We see it in all sports across the board, so it's nothing exclusive to lacrosse or any team or anything like that. So in my opinion, that's how it's been with Cornell all year.
Yep.
It's, a lot of people have looked at their wins for other teams. Like, a lot of people have looked at other teams and their win over Cornell is like, well, 6-7, because they're good, but they're bad. They're Jackal, but they're Hyde. They show up in this game, but they don't in this game. And it's not necessarily an asterisk, but people just look at it differently. Which, hey, that's the name of the game, nature of the beast. Either go out and play better or deal with it. It's always been my opinion about that. We'll just wrap up the Ivy League coverage. Yale comes out, upsets Harvard, who had been on a tear for most of the season. They win this game 15-9. Nathan Caberry, 3 goals and an assist. Andrew Perry, 2 goals. 2 goals and assists for John Arant IV. A goal and assist for Teddy Malone. What'd you say?
So that's a fire name.
Yeah, great name. Great name. Teddy Malone, a goal and assist. Sean Jordan, a goal and an assist for Jackson Green. 8 saves, 15 goals given up for the Crimson. Peter Monahan, a goal. Dylan Blakicki.
Blakicki, maybe?
Blakicki?
It's a tough one.
2 goals. Connor Gately, a goal and 2 assists. Luke Pascal, 3 goals. 5 goals for Cole Cashion, which is such a fire name.
Yeah.
Nick Waymer, 1 goal. William Sheehan, 2 goals. And 10 saves, 9 goals given up for the Bulldogs. I mean, Yale comes out with a huge upset victory in this rivalry. Knocks kind of the win out of Harvard Sales, who had been cruising at the top of the country and kind of was on their way to what was a collision course with Princeton for the Ivy League championship. That kind of, those boats have kind of both been rattled recently. So it'll be interesting to see how the Ivy plays out, but this is a huge win for Yale.
Yeah. And I mean, to do that when they gave up 6 man-up opportunities as well for Harvard and got none themselves to still dominate the way they did is impressive. It does bring into the question of, like, was Harvard overrated? Because they beat Hughes early on, and, you know, I know there was some people questioning that. But also, like, this was just a really good game from Yale, which we've already seen a couple times this year where they're a team that, you know, are they top of the Ivy League? No. Are they going to be, you know, top 5 team? No. But they are a team that can come out and smack a top 5 team when they want to. So I think it's a great win for them. You know, maybe if this game happens again, Harvard doesn't play as poorly as they did. I mean, to give up 10 goals in the first half is as close to a death sentence as you can get, pretty much, you know, and they got doubled up as well. I mean, the score of that Notre Dame game happened in the first half of this game. So,
yeah, right. Which is crazy, but 2 totally different games as well.
Yeah.
As far as pace and granted skill level, and a lot of other things. But yeah, this high scoring game, and Yale kind of seems like they had control for most of it, if not all of it.
I mean, they pretty much scored in bunches based on, 4 in a row, a couple singles, but 3 in a row, 3 in a row, 2 in a row. Yeah, wow. Man, they were very undisciplined in that second quarter. 3 penalties, 1 in the third, 2 in the fourth. Somehow Harvard comes away with none. That's wild.
Hey, sometimes a team plays a perfect game.
Yeah.
But
if
we'll
a perfect
head over.
game means you still lose by 6, I'm going to need you to start. Let's start slashing a little bit. Or,
please do something to help you win a game, huh? Bouncing back over to the ACC to wrap up things over there. The blue, orange, and white teams go to battle. Only one of them can come out victorious, and the orange improved to 10-2. Virginia drops to 7-5. I feel like they're 7-4. And Syracuse.
I think they're 7-4 now. Yeah, Syracuse is 10-3 on their website.
Okay.
If that's updated, I don't know.
Oh no, I trust their website much more than I trust NCAA.
Yeah.
But this was actually a game that I got a chance to go back and rewatch. I got my eyes on this one. It was a great game, and was one that Virginia had multiple chances in. They had control multiple times, but Syracuse always had an answer. Syracuse always bounced back, and kind of once they grabbed control over in the second half, they took off and ran with it. Ryan Dunkel had a goal, an assist for Joey Terenzi. Truett Sunderland, 2 goals and an assist. McKay Millen, 1 goal, 4 assists. 2 goals for Brendan Millen, 2 goals for Ryan Colsey, a goal for Charles Balsamo, an assist for Robbie Harper, and then 4 saves, 14 goals given up for the netminder for the Cavaliers. Peyton Anderson, the Bear, doing his thing. I mean, he looks so much like Levi Anderson out on the field. It is insane to me. He scored another goal. Mikey Leo with an assist. Billy Dwan got another goal. Luke Roa, 3 goals and an assist. Finn Thompson, a goal and an assist. Joey Spallina, 2 goals, 3 assists. Wyatt Hoddle, 3 goals and an assist. Greg Elijah Brown, John Mullen, and Chuck Kuzinski each get a goal. Dante Bowen and Bogue Han each had an assist as well in this game. 18 saves, 9 goals given up. Like I said, once Syracuse grabbed control in the second half, they didn't let go of it and ran away with this game.
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy McCool, hat tip to you, good sir, because 9 goals allowed, but 18 saves is on another level, especially when the opposing netminder only makes 4 saves the entire day. I mean, just awful day for him, unfortunately. But, I mean, this is kind of what Syracuse does at this point. This is kind of what we expect. I know Virginia had a bit of a run there. I've been saying for quite a while now, I'm not bought in. I don't know. I just can't get myself to believe in them. Because like you were saying, when they have chances, I feel like they still don't necessarily capitalize. And, when you get down to the tournament, you're going to be playing a lot of teams like Syracuse who are top of the top, and you have to capitalize in some way. And yet again, they don't. So, yeah, good win for Syracuse.
Yeah, I mean, they pulled it out and at home in the Dome, which was huge for them. I think Virginia kind of made a mistake traveling the day of the game and not
Did
going
they really?
the day, but dude,
why?
Maybe because it was a later game in the day and they felt like, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But
That's
I'm sure that's going to change the next time they go to the Dome.
They might have to go the day before just to get acclimated. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, right? Most teams do, and then they do like a walkthrough the morning of and everything, like get a really solid warm up and last fine tuning. And hey, what do I know? Insane to me. That's what I do know. It was insane to me. So yeah, that's kind of the situation with that whole thing. But Syracuse was great on the offensive end. But what I will say is Brendan Millen is going to be very special.
Yeah.
That kid is insanely good. Insanely good. This is the first time I got a chance to really sit down and watch him, and it's all striking. The IQ, the speed, the hands. He's phenomenal. I hate glazing a Cavalier like that, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I'm going to pop over to the Big Ten, start with the game that we'll probably talk the least about. A massacre of the Scarlet Knights by the Terrapins. Grayson Vorgang cashes in the 2 goals that Rutgers has. One of them was assisted by Casey Mangillo and the other by Brady Cardalla. And 13 saves, 12 goals given up for the keeper. Meanwhile, for Maryland, Leo Johnson, a goal and 2 assists. 3 goals, 2 assists for Eric Spanos. A goal and assist for Zach Whittier. 2 goals, 2 assists for Braden Urksa. A goal for Chris Lyons, AJ Larkin, Johnny Gardner, Aiden Aiken, and Spencer Ford as well. An assist for Jack Schultz, 8 saves, 2 goals given up. 12-2, I mean, I assume Rutgers traveled day of as well, and I don't think they ever got there. Because 12-2 is... And Maryland ain't that far from Piscataway. College Park and Piscataway aren't that far. You can definitely travel day of, but I don't think they made it to College Park.
They made it there for about minute 30, and they must have had a flight to catch immediately after because
my boy,
that was their only goal of the first half. They finally scored again middle of the third. Yeah, that's...
shout out their defense who kind of gave them a chance somewhat.
Outside of the second quarter, they were very good.
I would have to imagine that like Maryland had the ball a lot in this game. And for them to have only put up 12 means the defense and goalie did a pretty – I mean, the goalie had 13 saves. So I'd imagine there were a couple of calls, turnovers in there, and some ground balls and unforced errors. So, like, the defense did.
More than a couple ground balls. About 14 more. 6 more face-offs. They had 1 more man up. 25 to 10 shots on goal.
Jesus.
This is one of those just burn the film games for Rutgers.
Man, you don't want to. I would love to be a fly on the wall in that film session. Because I know they're getting roasted.
Oh.
To a game that was much better over the weekend. The Blue Jays took on that dreaded team down in Ohio that I hate so much. And they lost 7-6. Quentin Kilrain had a goal, 2 goals for Chuck Rawson. Matt Collison held to 0 points on 5 shots, only 2 of them being on net. Chauvet, 2 goals, 1 assist on 12 shots, 8 on net. Brooks English with an assist. Eric Chick grabs a goal. 14 saves, 7 given up for Gelinas. Garrett Haas had a goal. Cullen Brown with an assist. Liam White with an assist. Dylan Maggie with a goal. Logan Solberg with an assist. Alex Marnier, 1-1. 2-1 for Jake Struck. And 2-1 for Jackson Walsh as well. 14 saves, 6 goals given up for Caleb Fayok. Big tasty. And he comes up with the game-winning save at the end of this game that I did see clips of, stealing the win away and keeping this game from going to overtime. Hopkins, another tough loss for them. Ohio State picks up a much-needed win and a tight win in this Big Ten race. Things are getting muddy in the Big Ten as well. And Ohio State's defense might be the difference maker in the conference.
Yeah. I didn't get to watch this game, but maybe this is completely off topic, but like, are teams not trying to run against Ohio State? Because they slow every game down, and these teams just are cool with it. Maybe Ohio State's defense is just that good that you literally can't, which I'm fine accepting too. But
from the games I've seen from Ohio State, like they extend out so far. Like they make it extremely hard for you to like get out and transition and like run fast. Like they want to play slow. They want to be in a defensive game. They want to be low scoring, and they find every way to make it possible. Like their Notre Dame game that was extremely low scoring. Like, dude, everywhere somebody went, there was somebody in red glued to their hip.
I can't fault them. It's clearly working for them.
Oh, yeah.
It's just one of those things that's like, if someone figures that out, can their offense hang around at the same time?
Right.
Which maybe right now what we're seeing is just that they're purposely slowing everything down, so they're just not scoring as many points, and if they have to, they can. I'm not saying – I mean, they put up 14 against Air Force when they were here.
Right. It's not that they can't explode. But
it's just like – it's like that meme. Like, they can't keep getting away with this because every single game I see of them is, 6-7, 4-6. Like – but they found a way to win. So
it just makes you go.
I mean, seriously, every time I watch them, I'm just like, again? But hey, a win is a win. They don't ask how you got them. They just ask if you got them.
How many? Yeah. Exactly. Which is transitioning me right over to another team that I'm extremely excited to be talking about right now. Michigan must have heard me saying I was turning my lacrosse attention to Richmond on the men's side and the women's team for Michigan on the women's side because they have bounced back the last couple of weeks. They picked up another ranked win this weekend, taking down the Nittany Lions 9-8. CJ Riley picks up an assist. Luke Shanahan, a goal and assist. Alex Gatto, a goal and assist. Have I told you the lore of me and Alex Gatto and why that's such a big deal to me?
I don't think so.
Back in my freshman and sophomore summers of college, I worked at a summer camp in Pennsylvania. And I was coaching lacrosse at this summer camp. He was like 6th or 7th grade, maybe 7th, 8th grade, those 2 years. I knew right away he was going to be a Division I player. The kid was unreal. Unreal. Like, I mean, silky hands, extremely quick, knew the game well, very coachable. I was like, oh my God, this kid's just nasty. Like, this is insane. And fast forward all these years, he's at Michigan. He's finally getting his burn now as a junior. And he's made a great season out of it. And he's taken his chance and he's running with it. So I'm excited to see that for him. And I'm hoping that, he gets a chance to expand on it again next year and have a great senior season on top of this junior season, even though it's rocky based on the team's record and how the season has been trajectory rise. But him solo and his season and stats have been phenomenal for him, career year. So that makes me happy. We are an Alex Gatto Stan podcast, and I'm extremely proud of you. So keep balling out, Gatto. With that being said, Nick Rude, 4 goals on 6 shots, 5 of them being on net. I mean, talk about being a shooter and being extremely accurate and just knowing what you're supposed to do and making it happen. That was Nick Rude this weekend. Adam Udell had 3 assists. Patrick Kelly with an assist. Alex Lobel and Josh Ford and Bo Lockwood each grab a goal as well. 11 saves, 8 goals given up for Hunter Taylor in net. Meanwhile, Jackie Ian held scoreless in this game. Luke Wallstrom, 2 goals and an assist. Chase Robertson, a goal and assist. Hunter Aquino, 2 goals. Michael Ferroni, 1 goal, 2 assists. Andrew Beard, 1 assist. 1 goal and assist for Liam Matthews. A goal for John King. 7 saves, 9 goals given up for the Nittany Lions as they go down in an upset fashion to the Wolverines. Do you think Michigan can make a push late season like we've seen them do a couple times in the last 5 or 6 years and steal away the Big Ten auto bid in the tournament? If not, who or what are two teams that you see being a serious issue for them in the Big Ten tournament?
I mean, I'm not going to say no necessarily because looking at the rest of the conference. Now, again, I don't know if this is updated, but it has Michigan at 2-2 in conference play. Yeah, that's what the website has too. So this is updated. I mean, that ties them with Hopkins, Ohio State, Penn State are all 2-2 in conference play. I think they potentially could.
They have a win over Penn State.
Yep.
They have a loss to Hopkins.
I think this week's going to be really big for them against Ohio State.
I was saying they haven't played Ohio State yet. So they beat Ohio State. They got to hope for a Hopkins loss. That puts them at the 2 seed behind Maryland. Then they have maybe some advantage there.
I mean, Maryland's the only team that I feel definitively
poses
ahead of them. Again, Ohio State is just a tough one because
of how they like to play. But Michigan also, for the most part, plays slow. They play deep. They play deep in the shot clocks.
But then you look at their season that they've had, and they lose the close games. They also lose blowouts. Like they held Notre Dame to 9 goals,
and lost.
But they only put up 4. You know what I'm saying? Their defense can ball out, but it's like, can their offense also pick up the slack? And then, the same vice versa.
Can it sustain? Which I do believe it's gotten
better for sure.
Better over the season, and they're starting to feel more comfortable and gel. I think that's the bigger thing is they lost so many core pieces of their offense from last year that like this group has like never really played together.
Yeah.
So like they're now like finally gelling, noticing where guys like to find the ball, where guys like to move, where they like to shoot from, and it's starting to click. Which is now is a great time for that to start to click and come together right before conference tournament play and a chance to make a run in the NCAA tournament, but they got to figure it out fast.
The hard part too is like there's I think 4 teams, including them in the Big Ten, that truly can flip a switch and be an incredible team, and then the next week they just aren't. I mean, Hopkins is perfect example of that. Penn State, I think same thing. I mean, they got the upset this weekend, but yeah. I mean, Penn State beat Princeton, right? Big first week. So yes, that was a long time ago, but they can do it. And then again, just the stuff with Ohio State just makes me iffy. But I will say I do feel much more positive after these 2 wins than I did. You know, had you asked me this a few weeks ago, I would have been like, "No, they're they're dead in the water.
Shot.
Like that's it."
I said that, so yes.
Yeah, but you get 2 straight ranked wins against conference opponents. That's huge.
Yeah, it's a big morale boost to the locker room as well. It makes you feel like you know now's the time to push. We can do this. We belong here. Let's show everyone.
And if you go out and beat an Ohio State team this week, at Ohio State too,
you're going to be rolling.
Oh man,
and you're going to be feeling great about yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, that wraps up Big Ten. So the last thing to do is to stop in with you before I get your opinion on the game. St. John's came over to Denver. They did lose this game 15-9 as the Pios come out victorious. Noah Plen, 3 goals, 1 assist for Adrian Nowak and Chase Huggard. 4 shots, 2 of them on net. No points for Brody Hergott. Once again, another lower piece here. Coach Brody Hergott in some travel ball, box ball here in Kalamazoo. Coached against him in high school ball. One of those things where the first time I saw him play, I was like, this kid's going D1. He's like 6'2", 6'3", 215, 220 pounds, lightning speed, can shoot with both hands. Natural-born athlete, great strength, insane shot. I just was like, oh, my God, okay. And then he's like, yeah. And he started playing Canadian box in the summer, and I was like, yeah, this kid's got it.
If you're doing that, you're probably pretty good.
Yeah, he comes back from a winter tournament and goes, yeah, I'm signing to St. John's. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I thought was going to be happening with this kid. So it's great to see him not only getting play, being a first-line midfielder, getting repetitions, getting shot opportunities. It would be great to see him transfer maybe to a bigger program and be a contributor there and take a shot at a national championship. But I also would be extremely happy with watching him continue to flourish at St. John's and make a career out of it there. So keep up the amazing work, Mr. Hergott. We are all happy here. I'm in Southwest Michigan watching you do your thing. Owen Rogers cashes in on 3 goals from 7 shots, 4 of them being on net. Jack McCormick, he used his 1 shot to put it on net and get it in the back. Jack Wright had an assist. Wade Bryan, 2 goals in this game as well. He also went 100% on the shooting percentage as both of them were on net and found the back. Matt Nelson, 12 saves, 15 goals given up. Meanwhile, for Denver, Cody Milowski, 4 goals and an assist. A goal and 2 assists for Chris McGarris. A goal and assist for Daniel Clark. Goal and assist for Chase Bruno. 2 goals, 3 assists for Merrick. What's Merrick's last name again?
I think it's Zagurnis.
I remember
I'm pretty sure.
I remember we texted about it for a second when you were at a game. He
I
had
heard
2
so
goals.
the person said it, and I was like, I need to text him immediately before I forget this because I don't know how else I'm going to remember it.
We had 2 goals, 3 assists from him. Lucas Cloque. Cloque? Listen for that one too.
Yeah, that's a wow.
He had a goal. Matt Watmere had it, and Luke Barkamer each had a goal. Joe Taraboletti and Jimmy Douglas had a goal as well. Taraboletti poured an assist in this game. Sawyer Hudgens had a goal. and 10 saves, 9 goals given up for Grayson Manning. What were your thoughts? What were your views? Tell us the story on how you were late to the game.
Oh, I just had it wrong on my calendar, straight up. I put all the games in beginning of the season. So I don't know if I maybe just like copy and pasted and forgot to change the time. Thankfully, I always get there an hour before game time. So like I had it in my calendar as a 1 p.m. game and it was a 12 p.m. game. So I only missed like half of the first quarter. Still, I was kicking myself though when I walked up and DU scored again and it was 5-1. I was like, there's no way I did this. I was like, at least I'm here. You know what? I'll make the most of my 3.5 quarters, which I did. But yeah, I was just like, of course, like it was 5-1. Like they just would have been the best Selly celebrate photos. I mean, so I was mad about that. But you know what? I got there. It was fine. They dominated. They definitely played, I think, a bigger line of players than I think I've really noticed. At least they did early on, where it was like, oh, like these are guys that maybe don't get as much run. So that was kind of cool. Trying to think what else. I mean, Cody Malowski, 4 goals and an assist. Like it, I wish he could have these performances when they play bigger schools. And part of that definitely is obviously defenses change to cover your best player, but like it's just I would like to see him just get more involved and to go 4 for 5. I mean, he was 4 for 4 with shots on goal, which is great. Grayson Manning, another really solid game. I mean, St. John's just they were just outmatched, honestly. Once the Piles got that lead in the first half, it was just kind of coasting the rest of the way, and they definitely had a bit of momentum there. I want to say it was like the second, third quarter. They scored some goals, and their bench was hyped, and like it was 3 in a row in the second quarter. But that was short lived, and then D responded immediately with 3 in a row themselves. So, good win for Denver. I still, the Big East is going to be tough for them still, but good win nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, looking around the country, speaking of the Big East, Georgetown's starting to cruise. They're 6-4 now after taking down Marquette 17-7. Richmond continuing to run through the A-10 like it doesn't exist. Dominated St. Bonaventure 23-7, 6-1 after 1, 13-2 after 2, 19-3 after 3, and then finished it off 23-7. That's insane work. I mean, Hampton's still winless. They lose to Townsend 21-5. Townsend low-key creeping up 8-3 as they're making their waves in their conference. They were up 7-1 after 1, and then up 16-2 at halftime. But then a nice little third quarter from Hampton. They won the third quarter 3-1. So it was 17-5 after 3, and then Townsend won the final quarter 4-0 and closed that one out. Boston University escapes Bucknell at home 13-12 in what was an overtime game there. And then Army handled Navy with no problems, 14-9, 4-3 after 1, and then 7-4 at halftime, 10-5 after 3, and then they closed things out 14-9, 4 apiece in the fourth quarter. And then Cornell took care of business on Monday, taking down High Point 17-9. On the women's side, as always, their week is like jam-packed with stuff. It is insane to me that they can figure it out and the men can't. Although a lot of the games that happen during the week are not exciting. Penn did take down Princeton in an upset fashion in double overtime, 10-9. Princeton was 20th in the country. Penn unranked at the moment of the game. Michigan did finally come down off their heater. They lose to Rutgers in a 25-5 matchup. Michigan being the number 5 team in the country. They lose that game 13-12 on Thursday night. Northwestern took care of Maryland, handed Maryland their first loss of the year, 11-10.
That was a good
Penn,
game, actually.
Yeah, it was a
That was
fantastic game. I saw bits and pieces of that game, and it was one of the best games of the season, regardless of gender. Penn State cruised over Oregon 19-9. North Carolina got the best of Stanford 18-9. Even though they got off to a slow start in the first quarter, Stanford was up 2-1, and then a 6-3 second quarter put North Carolina up 7-5, and they didn't look back as they had a 4-2 third quarter. So it was 11-7 after 3, and then they had another 7-2 fourth quarter to really blow things open and run away with that game there. Getting into the weekend, Navy-Army women's were in battle as well, but this time Navy comes out victorious in an 8-13 matchup. But say the words.
You can't go scoreless in a quarter and expect to win games.
Especially if you give up 7 in that quarter.
Oh.
Army was up 3-1 after 1 and then gave up a 7-0 spot in the second quarter, down 8-3 at half, and Navy ran away with it. At that point, it was 12-5 after 3. And then Army won the fourth quarter 3-2, but it was nowhere near enough at that point. Navy wins 14-8. Richmond with another dominant win on the women's side as well, 19-6 over George Washington. Denver women's grab a victory over Villanova, 14-5. Clemson over Duke, 17-5 in dominant fashion. They were up 5-0 after 1, 10-3 at halftime, 14-4 after 3, and then finished things off with a 3-1 fourth quarter. Yale escapes Penn, so Penn is really giving people problems right now on the women's side. But a weird game because Penn goes scoreless in the second and third quarters, but only lose this game 7-4. Penn was up 3-1 after the first, tied at 3 at half. They were down 6-3 after 3. And then they each scored 1 in the fourth quarter, finishing that game out 7-4. Virginia upsets Boston College 17-14. Cavaliers were up 6-2 after 1. And then it was 6-8 at halftime in favor of Virginia. And then they traded 3 spots in the third quarter. So it was 9-11 and then 6-5 winning fourth quarter for Virginia to steal away the victory, 17-14. And that's everything notable from Saturday. Northwestern took down Penn State as well, 17-12. So they're really running away with things in the Big Ten. Michigan suffers a second loss in a row, something they hadn't done all season this year. They lost to Johns Hopkins 13-6 in that matchup. Rutgers dominated Oregon 21-7. So that is everything that was popping in the women's realm. D2, your boys had a big victory over the weekend, if I'm not mistaken.
Per usual.
Per usual, my guy says.
At this point, I don't even know how many they have.
He was not saying that at the beginning of the year.
Hey. Chill, all right? It was a rough go at the beginning, all right?
It was.
They clearly took the California Redwoods offensive playbook. It wasn't working, and then something changed. Really what changed was they started playing bad competition, but that's neither here nor there because they're blowing them out 27-9.
Hey, good teams dominate the bad teams. That's what I do.
Hey, they're 9-5 now. There was a point in time I think they were like 3-5 or something.
Yeah, it was bad.
I also didn't know that Poolskis is a Lise McRae fan.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he's an alum, and he played.
Okay, that makes sense. So this whole time I've been just like on their bandwagon because of John Grant Jr. And I see his post at the game, and I was like, "Yo, what?"
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's an alum who played there.
Okay, that's sweet.
So he's always been super big on Lee's.
Yeah, dude, they're 10-5 now. Yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dubs in a row
Huge.
for them. I mean,
Huge win streak.
7-1 in conference play. 4-0 at
That's
home.
fantastic.
4-4 away. Away games are iffy, but it's all right. 2-1 on neutral turf.
Everybody's bad at home or on the road.
Yeah.
It gets the best of us, unless you're the Michigan Wolverines national championship basketball team. UND took down Davenport 21-9. Tampa over St. Leo 16-4. And that was middle of the week action on Wednesday. Looking into Saturday, like we just mentioned, 27-9 for Lees McRae over Emmanuel from Georgia. The matchups this week in D2 were terrible. Seton Hill over Northwood, 22-12. Lenore Ryan over Anderson from South Carolina, 19-14. St. Leo over Emory-Riddle, Florida, 15-12. Adelphi over Assumption, 19-6. Lander over UAH, 17-7. Tampa over Lynn, 13-8. UND dominates Quincy, 22-3. Bentley beats Pace, 13-11. Newberry over Lincoln Memorial, 17-11. Yeah, I mean, that was the D2 action. D3 was an absolute whirlwind this week/weekend. Looking at the middle of the week here for Wednesday. Calvin beat Albion 17-15. Adrian beat Alma 19-1, which I swear I was going to jump off any bridge I could find. If Adrian would have lost to Alma, it's real bad up there. Real bad. Lynchburg beat Guilford 25-0. Stevens beat FDU Florham 20-1. Hope over Trine 10-7. Christopher Newport beat Roanoke 17-12. Swarthmore over Yersinia 17-5. Where is KB to hear these names? Oh my God, he would love it. Hanover over Earlham 20-6. Dickinson beats Gettysburg 12-11. Tufts over Bates 14-10. Trancey over Spalding 27-2. Kenyon over John Carroll 13-7. Denison dominates Wabash 19-4. Stevenson absolutely blows water with Widener 25-7. RIT loses to Ithaca 9-8. Huge upset there for Ithaca. Grove City over Washington and Jefferson 25-2. Jesus. Chatham beat St. Vincent 15-7. Arcadia over Misericordia 11-9. Bowden beats Colby 19-12. That was all on Wednesday. I love D3 ball. Always something popping off in the middle of the week. Grove City beat St. Vincent 23-5 on Friday. Piedmont over Brevard 27-3. Which, by the way, Brevard, their goalie set a single game save record with 36 in that game.
Wow.
And they lost 23-7, so I'd be pissed if I was him. Stevenson over Eastern 19-12 as we get into the weekend action. Salisbury over Keene 28-8. Dickinson over St. Mary's in Maryland 11-5. Albion beats Adrian 13-12 in overtime. Literally blew the sails out of all my wins. Yes, I said that on purpose. Gettysburg beats Yersinia 18-8. Trine beats Kalamazoo 14-5. Roanoke over Randolph 24-1. Suwanee over Oglethorpe 23-1. Franciscan over Bethany, West Virginia 25-4. Bowden over UMass Boston 25-4. Massachusetts Maritime over VTSU Castleton. Who? 27-3. I mean, that explains why you got beat like that.
So it's a fake
Endicott
school.
over facts. Endicott over Gordon 29-4. South Virginia over LaGrange 20-3. Eastern Connecticut State over Southern Missouri 24-2. Or maybe Southern Memphis. Southern Maine 24-2. Spalding over Earlham 9-8 in overtime. Swarthmore over McDaniel 18-1. Amherst beats Williams 10-9. Hope beats Alma 27-1. Baldwin Wallace beats Otterbein 28-6. Worcester over Denison over Worcester, 15-3. Cortland beats SUNY Onetta 20-7. Chatham beats Thiel 32-1. Ohio Wesleyan beats Wittenberg 21-8. Roger Williams beats Curry 9-0. Ohio Northern over Tranny 9-6. Let's go. My boy Coach Nat continuing to be dominant over there and winning game after game. So love to see that out of the Polar Bears. Carthage over North Central Illinois 10-9. Elmhurst over Augustana 27-0. And our boys Centenary from Louisiana gets pumped by Rhodes 25-6, which is never
Dreams
never,
of them winning the Tewaaraton.
I said that's never what we want to see, but it was only a matter of time. Anything else you want to say?
You can only put up 30-something points so many times.
No, facts. Before somebody does something about it, right?
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say about the weekend that just passed?
Nope. I did just I looked at the rankings, and Notre Dame is 1, Princeton is 2, Carolina 3, and Richmond is 4.
Okay, I like that.
Hughes being 5, but yeah.
Yeah, that's a solid top 5 to me. I think that's very reasonable, and there's even arguments for those to be manipulated and adjusted depending on how you feel.
And
so
you'll be happy to know Michigan did receive votes.
Oh, let's go, gang! Turn me up, merch it.
Yep.
I clearly was around high school kids all weekend. Albion and Hope are playing on Wednesday this week as we look at upcoming action for D3. Is that really the only game from the conference they're going to show me on a Wednesday? I feel like more are being played, but maybe they're not good enough to be mentioned. RPI and Amherst will play on Wednesday. St. Vincent and Washington and Jefferson, Cortland and Ithaca, all going to battle in our middle of the week action. Thursday's lame. No offense to anyone in D3 who's playing on Wednesday. Or, sorry, Thursday. My computer's being slow for some reason. Great podcasting. Alma and Trine play on Friday. Denison and Oberlin on Saturday. Amherst and Middlebury. Adrian plays Colorado College. Home game for Adrian on Saturday. I might just go to that. Calvin and Hope will play on Saturday as well. Stevens and Arcadia. Mount Union and Ohio Northern. Albion and Kalamazoo. I'm not going to that game. I have a game myself. I'm funny. Salisbury plays Christopher Newport. RPI and Clarkson. Tufts and Hamilton. Lynchburg and Hampton Sydney. Union and RIT. Elmhurst in North Central Illinois. Talk to me. Wittenberg and Albion on Sunday as well. Anything you want to look at for D2? I'm sure your boys got a game coming up for the weekend.
Let's find out. Nothing during the week. Did they not play this weekend? No way.
They might have a bye.
No way. They've been killing teams too much. They don't have anybody else to play. Oh no, their regular season's over. So they finished 10-5.
Yeah, so they're just waiting for conference tournament or possible D2 tournament play. Tampa and Florida Tech matchup on Wednesday. On Saturday, Bentley and St. Michael's, Adelphi and Franklin Pierce, Walsh and Wheeling, Pace and St. Anselm, Lander and Montalvo, Lander and Montevallo, UND and Maryville, Missouri, Wingate, Lincoln Memorial. And that's it for the weekend there. Women's D1 slate for the week, which is generously slowed down. Rutgers and Northwestern, Wednesday, 5 p.m., Big Ten Plus. Colorado and Denver, Wednesday, 8 p.m., 15 versus 18. North Carolina Duke, 1 versus 19, 5 p.m. ACC Network on Thursday. Syracuse Boston College, 4 versus 16, 5:30 p.m. ESPNU on Thursday. 6 p.m. BTN, 7 Hopkins versus 21 Penn State. Maryland versus Michigan, 3 versus 11, BTN, 8 p.m. And then Virginia Tech in-state battle, 6 p.m. ACC Extra. Thursday action there on the women's side. Looking at Saturday. Penn State Rutgers, 12 p.m., 21 versus 22. Ohio State versus Maryland, 4 p.m. BTN. And 6 p.m. BTN Northwestern versus Michigan, 2 versus 11. Sunday, nothing notable. Women's slate, like I said, seriously slowing down. I guess could be good depending on who you're asking. Makes it a little bit easier for us to not have to watch so many games or keep up with so many games, but also would love to see more of those high-profile matchups we were getting at the beginning of the season. Turning things over to men's D1, Michigan at Ohio State, 6 p.m. on Friday, BTN, and then Rutgers 16 Penn State versus 19 Rutgers, 8 p.m. BTN to follow that Michigan-Ohio State game. Saturday, 1 Notre Dame, 15 Duke, noon ESPNU. St. Joe's at Richmond, noon ESPN Plus. 14 Army at 18 Loyola Maryland, noon ESPN Plus. 3 North Carolina, 8 Virginia, noon ACC Extra. 1 p.m. ESPN Plus, 2 Princeton, 9 Harvard. 2 p.m. ESPNU, 7 Maryland, 13 Johns Hopkins. 5 p.m. ACC Network / ACC Extra, Colgate versus Syracuse. That's what we got for the weekend. Anything popping at you early? Where are you going to be this weekend / week?
Nowhere. Nowhere
Nice.
this weekend.
Little break for you, boy.
I should say, as of now, there's nothing. We'll see what kind of gets put on the docket.
What pops up?
Yeah, that's usually how these bye weeks go for me, where I say I have nothing, and all of a sudden everyone hits me up and is like, "Oh, actually, we have this thing," and so. But yeah, Denver plays Providence, I believe, away. Mammoth play at Calgary this week, so nothing there. So yeah,
Nothing but a L. You off in a hole.
can't spell Calgary without L.
Hey, I'm just talking shit because you know how that's been. So with that being said, we're going to do that thing that we always do, our Riverside games of the week, which are powered by, yes, you guessed it, Riverside. We made the switch to Riverside a couple months ago as a company. Has changed our entire productivity level on its head, from enhanced audio quality and episodes, easy-to-use editing tools, including a built-in editing bay for all of our shows on the network, and the fastest way to cut clips, segments, and funny moments for all of our shows. Plus, it is an absolute bargain compared to the competitors. Use our link in the description to get your podcast, webinars, or video projects looking and sounding pristine with Riverside. Nephew, Riverside game of the week. Give it to me.
Michigan, Ohio State.
Ooh, you pandering to Net. You pandering to Unk this weekend. I see what you're doing.
I want to see if Michigan can do it, first and foremost. Secondly, I want to see if this game could be a high-scoring game. I'm tired of these low-scoring Ohio State games they keep getting away with. Michigan's on a heater. I want to see if that can continue.
So I love that, obviously. Going to mark that as an honorable mention for me. Penn State Rutgers, another honorable mention for me, along with Notre Dame and Johns Hopkins. All of those games, super muddy, make the Big Ten continue to be muddy, need wins and losses all over the place to continue to make that crazy thing that's going to be the seeding for their conference tournament wild. So I'm excited to see all of those games this weekend. Harvard Princeton also getting an honorable mention because that has capabilities of making the Ivy League a wild league when they prepare for their tournament. But also going to give an honorable mention to Notre Dame and Duke. Another game that could shake up the ACC. Duke could really get their footing here and use this as a big boost win. Notre Dame could really kind of close and solidify themselves as a top ACC team and really begin to prepare for the NCAA tournament, which leaves North Carolina, Virginia as my game of the week.
It's a good one.
I think here the main thing for me with this is this game has huge ACC capabilities of shaking things up. Your look at where these two teams are ranked has huge NCAA tournament implications as well, especially with the ACC not having an automatic bid because they're a 5-team league. This game's huge in shaking up that ACC, shaking up the NCAA tournament, and making this a great season. So I'm really circling that one, and I'm excited to see how that will turn out for those two teams. But also going to be marking, as soon as I can find it, give me just a sec. Maybe not. Yep, scratch that. Never mind. Thought it was a better game than what I wanted on the women's side. So yeah, those are our Riverside games of the week. Anything else for the week?
Go Pios.
Hey, go Pios, go Blue. We're both national champions. So everybody out there, who cares? No, seriously. The only thing, or I shouldn't say the only thing. One thing we do really very much care about is you subscribing to the podcast at the Underground Industries, youtube.com/Underground Industries. Also find them Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and other means of social media. You can find them on Twitter at the Industries. Don't forget to subscribe to the pod. youtube.com/OTB Full video episodes of this pod. You also get exclusive content from the main pod covering pro and international, Sporkle, exclusive interviews with players, front office personnel, and other lacrosse media and other lacrosse content. Also subscribe or follow OTB Lax Pod everywhere: Instagram, Twitter, Facebooks, Threads, TikTok, etc. Don't forget to follow my nephew across from me at Hoots Sport Media. Follow the boy and the man behind the scenes, KBizzle311 on Twitter and KBizzle11 or KBizzleE11 on Instagram. Follow me at Uncle Deej12 on Instagram. Also can see me at SES_Next on Twitter. You can find all my other socials there. This has been another episode of Outside the Box College Show, the official college lacrosse podcast on the Underground Industries.
We got one more thing. With the PLL draft tomorrow, Josh Yago has gotten approval to play PLL this year.
Wow.
I just had to put that out there before we head out of here.
You're right. That is tomorrow. Any shockers you're expecting to see in the draft? Any?
There's some people that believe that Silas Richmond should be number one.
I mean, the dude's great.
I can't say I disagree, but I don't think it'll happen.
And he fits that Archer system with the way he likes to play and how they like to operate. I don't think it will happen, but keep your eyes on him maybe going second or third round as a sneaky Archer's pick because he falls based on maybe how some other GMs might feel about his talent level or, his transferability to the PLL. He could be sneaky on that Archer squad for sure. Very Sam King-esque, in my opinion. But yeah, I see this being a very chalkish kind of draft. Like I don't see many GMs taking stretches or any like crazy steals kind of.
I will say
coming up in this draft.
When KB and I did our mock draft last week on the main pod, I definitely reached on some things. I think if the listeners haven't listened to that episode yet, go to like a minute 45 roughly in that episode. And some of my picks make sense, but some of them are definitely a little bit out there. Is all I'm saying.
Hey, that's how it's supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, like he said, get over there and check out that pod. Get some pre-draft knowledge and insight going. Get your thoughts rolling. Prepare for that draft tomorrow. See where the college guys are going to be playing as soon as they're done with their college season, as the PLL is starting earlier this year. And we'll be back next week with another episode of OTB College, as this has been OTB College number 12. 1-2, my favorite number, gang. We'll be back next week. Have an amazing week. Go Blue.
Peace.